Hello, my dear friends. I'm Ksenia, and you're watching St. Petersburg-me. And today we will be speaking about karma and how Russians prove that it actually exists. I think you might remember or might have heard how about 1.5 years ago the Russian propaganda was telling the Russians how Europeans will be freezing in their own apartments and houses without the Russian gas. And it was all over the Russian state media, Russian state TV, that Europeans will freeze in their own apartments and they will have to heat their apartments and houses with wood. And even there were many people from the Russian side, like this Z patriots, who created memes about Europeans going to hot bath tours to Russia and how European men will marry Russian women to be able to go to Russia to take a hot bath and to heat themselves in the Russian warm apartments. It was really all over the Russian media, state media, and many Russians were like mocking Europeans for this, like, oh, you deny our gas, you will be kneeling on your knees and come on your knees to Russia for our gas and oil, like you will be begging for our gas and oil. And 1.5 years passed, and guess what? The Russians are people who are actually freezing in their apartments without heat. How is that possible? Let me tell you. About 4 or 5 days after the New Year's, the Russians began to read news about the emergencies on heating system in many different Russian cities and towns. And even there were news about heating system collapse in Moscow region. So many towns and cities in Moscow regions were left without heating in people's apartments. So many people just faced the problem of their radiators being cold. So many people throughout the whole country faced the same problem. So there were problems with heating in Novosibirsk region and in Novosibirsk too, in Vladivostok region and in Vladivostok too, in Tver region, and many other small towns and big cities even were affected by this heating system collapse. Overall, about 800 apartment buildings in Russia, throughout Russia, were left without any heat. And Russians started to apply to their local administrations, and they started doing something, but not enough to solve the questions, to solve the problem. And the Russians started to record videos to Mr. Putin to solve this problem, and they had also a problem that, for example, an administration of a town or a region or an area in some big city has like a Telegram channel or a VK page, and the citizens who live in this region or area started to leave comments on the post saying that we don't have heat, like these 2 days or 3 days that we don't have heat, help us. And the administration and some administrations of these areas and regions started to delete those comments and saying that, oh, we don't have a problem, it's just it's just not to spoil their reputation, so overall, about 800 apartment buildings throughout Russia were left without heating. And in some towns and even in some regions in Moscow and big cities, it caused the problem with electricity, because once people don't have warm or hot radiators, they began to use electric radiators and electric heating systems, and this all gives an additional load to the grid of the city or a town, and it also breaks down because because of the enormous load. And some people were left without hot water, without heating, and without electricity in their apartments and houses. And there is a problem in Russian apartments, unlike in European apartments, because we cannot heat it with wood. People would be very eager to heat their cold apartments with wood, but we don't have an opportunity, because we don't have a fireplace or special heat stoves to be able to use wood. We don't have that in our apartment. We only can rely on radiators being hot during the winter, but many Russians throughout the whole country faced this problem. And this is when we start speaking about karma. 1.5 years ago, many Russians were like, oh, Europeans, you will be freezing in your apartments without Russian gas. And now, 1.5 years later, those are Russians who are suffering in their cold apartments, and many people don't have proper heating in their apartments even now, like almost 3 weeks after the New Year's and the collapse of heating system. And of course, you can explain it not only with the karma, but this happens because the Russian heating systems are really worn out. They need replacement. They need those pipes that carry hot water to the radiators be substituted for new ones, but it's not being done. It is done only so if you have a burst of the pipe somewhere in the city, not all the pipes are being substituted for new ones in that area. Only the part which was burst up, burst out. I don't know how to tell it, how to say it in English, but only that part that faced the problem is being substituted, not the whole pipe. And this causes problems because the pipes are really old. They were laid in Soviet times, like 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and even some workers say that they sometimes they repair the pipes of 1920s. So some pipes were laid down in 1920s. Of course, 100 years is more than enough to worn any pipe down, and this is how it is now in Russia. And I can tell you that even my apartment, which is quite okay this year with the heating, I'm still cold. Like, I'm sitting here in my warm, I don't know, like warm outfit, and my apartment is not that very warm either. I have to wear layers to get myself to keep warm sometimes. And when the temperature goes lower and lower, for example, like -15, -19, my apartment is getting really cold. So sometimes it's not a problem or in pipes or radiators, it's a problem in how the apartment building was built, according to what standards. So my apartment is quite old, and it's so I don't have adjusting apartments. So this wall, for example, facing the street, of course my apartment will be cold, if it's not adjusted to another apartment. So yeah, this is how it works. So again, about karma. So if you wish bad to people, if you say bad things to people, you gain bad karma, of course. And all those things that you wished to other people, they will return to you. This is the law of karma. And sometimes it happens just even when you think about it, even with the thought, even if you don't say it, don't say anything, even if you think badly, if you in your head, if you wish bad things to other people, you get it back in many forms. You maybe, if you say that, oh, I wish you bad luck, so this bad luck will return to you, be sure. So Russians just showed everyone the law of karma, how it works. So my dear friends, don't wish bad to other people, no matter how bad they are, no matter what bad things they do. Don't wish anybody bad things, because they will return to you. You can be sure of that. So my dear friends, I think this is all for today. I will not show you any, materials like showing how Russians are freezing in their apartments. I think you saw this footage in on other channels, maybe even in your media, in Western media, because now I think it's a huge news, or maybe a week ago it was a huge news, not only in Russia but in other medias too. I think you just saw it. So my dear friends, thank you for watching, and thank you for being with me, and see you in the next video. Bye.